Is Pokémon Horizons a crushing failure or a smashing success? Week after week, fans have debated how Liko and Roy's adventure stacks up to the Ash Ketchum era of the Pokémon anime, but nothing talks like the numbers. And we are about to break down the latest data out of Japan, explain fans' concerns with the series, then investigate an unexpected twist that left everyone wondering what the heck happened. And as always, it's going to be a good time, so kindly subscribe, and let's bust out the juicy nuggets. But first, Skillshare has been a valued friend of the channel through both the most exhilarating highs and the most demoralizing declines. And I actually made a class about becoming robust to the tough times in life that you can enjoy with a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Skillshare is most famous for its photography, film, and drawing classes, but it's also a great place for creatives to reinvent their goals and careers. Of course, being mentally strong is key to achieving any long-term goal, which is why I made my class. But in terms of specific skills in 2023, I do highly recommend learning to make good videos. So if you are just starting out, check out DIY video production for content creators from setting up to editing by Enrico Luzzi on Skillshare, as Enrico lays out the fundamentals for making quality videos no matter what the budget, and has you cranking out videos right away in the class project. Whether you're into video making, pixel art, game development, manga drawing, YouTubing, writing fiction, or something else, you are sure to find a class on Skillshare, and you can enjoy unlimited classes from the Skillshare library for free, since the first 1,000 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So snag the trial, best of luck skilling up, and with that said, it's back to today's chat. P.S. I would love your feedback on my class. I'll see you there. To get a grasp of how Liko and Roy's adventure is going, I want to show you something. This chart. What the chart shows us is the total official views of each episode of Pokémon Horizons 1 week after they've been uploaded to YouTube. In Japan, new episodes of the show are released across 3 YouTube channels after they air on TV. The official Pokémon channel, the TV Tokyo channel, and the Korokoro channel. And this dataset combines the views of these 3 sources. Of course, the show can also be watched on other platforms including cable television, TVer, Amazon Prime, Unext, DMM TV, Hulu, and D-Anime Store. But in theory, the YouTube viewership should be a reasonable proxy for overall viewership. As you can see, the first episode of Pokémon Horizons did very well. It didn't quite match the Ash vs. Leon finale of Pokémon Journeys or Ash's final episode as the anime's hero in Masase Pokémon Master, but honestly, what would? However, while the first 5 episodes also cracked 1 million views in the first week, the view counts quickly began trending downward. The graph kinda reminds me of Boruto manga sales data, which started strong, unless you compare it to Naruto, before sharply declining and stabilizing at a lower average count. Without a doubt, the YouTube viewership data for the first 13 episodes of Pokémon Horizons also indicates a strong start that quickly fizzled out. But what the heck happened? Obviously, core fans will rush to check out a sequel to their favorite series, and not everyone will stick around, and yet I wondered what specific issues might be keeping fans from coming back to Pokémon Horizons. And to get the answers, I asked you all this question. If you aren't sold on Pokémon Horizons yet, what does it have to do to win you over? And here are a handful of replies that captured the recurring themes. Truth be told, while I do like what we've been getting, I'm honestly craving the gym challenge and the Pokemon League. That is when I'm enjoying Pokemon the most. Low stake, high octane battles. Do gym battles. More action from Liko and Roy. It feels like nobody is battling except for Freed. More Roy screen time. Need to know where the story is going. Fun little character episodes have already gotten boring for me. Give Liko a proper goal like Ash, Dawn, Brock, etc. Their dreams are given to them in the starting episodes, so we know their goals. I started to get bored. Something is missing. The only reason for me to watch it again is when they bring Ash back. The nostalgic feeling is gone, I guess. I really miss not watching the anime every week, but this version just doesn't do it for me. Etc, etc, etc. Bearing in mind that many other fans really do love the show just as it is, and I've personally been having a great time with it for the most part. The main points of discontent are the lack of clarity around the character's goals, and around where the broader story is headed, the lack of a recognizable progression system along the lines of Ash's gym quests, the lack of traditional Pokemon battles, and of course, the fact that Ash's retirement obliterated the nostalgia that kept many fans tied to the show. I've seen these themes echoed by the Japanese fandom, and in particular I do think that more precision around the character trajectories of Liko and Roy would alleviate a lot of these issues. Firstly, aside from finding more information about her pendant, Liko's goal is basically to find her goal. A premise more or less lifted from Chloe's underwhelming story in Pokémon Journeys, but also not that out of line with the opening chapters of Serena or May, both of which turned out to be very popular characters. The key difference is that the girls' lack of concrete goals in the early stages of those sagas didn't leave the overall story on the rocks, because at the end of the day, the entire narrative was grounded to Ash's clear-cut quest to be the very best. On a similar note, prior to the Sun and Moon saga, we knew exactly where the gang was headed most of the time, thanks to the gym badge milestones that also helped viewers track Ash's progress against his objective of winning a given Pokemon League. And while I really like Liko's personality and vibes, it is more difficult to see where she's at and where she's headed, and I think it would be easier for the average fan to get attached to her if she established more clarity around who she wants to be and how to get there. Secondly, as for Roy, his dream is basically to meet and battle legendary Pokemon, and to help Fuecoco become as strong and cool as Charizard. But aside from pursuing a string of chance encounters with 6 special Pokemon, he doesn't really have a clear trajectory either. Presumably moving towards his goals would involve a laser focus on getting stronger, but so far, Roy has not demonstrated much commitment to that pursuit. For example, Roy gets his butt kicked by Brassius, but instead of thirsting for a rematch, he more or less accepts defeat and moves on. On the other hand, a character like Ash Ketchum, who has a truly powerful conviction to overcome the odds and push himself beyond, would find the loss unacceptable and train hard to take the comeback win as soon as possible. Basically, neither main character in Pokémon Horizons has the drive or clarity of vision that made Ash's adventure so compelling. At least, not for now. However, all the other pieces are in place for a satisfying adventure, and the wholesome interactions between the rising Voltekkers are unlike anything we have ever seen in the anime. So if Liko and Roy's character tracks are tightened up and the traditional battles that are so popular with fans are worked back into the mix, I think the series could build up a strong following over time. And to tell the truth, the other pieces that make Horizon such a joy to watch may be doing more work than the YouTube numbers let on, because the show's cable TV ratings are apparently showing a fair bit of promise. After all, it is rare that the Pokemon anime even cracks the top 10 of Japan's weekly anime rankings, not even show-stopping episodes like the Ash vs. Leon finale. In fact, the only episode to make the top 5 in recent years was the 11th and final episode of Mesase Pokemon Master, a bittersweet goodbye to Ash and Pikachu that core fans couldn't possibly miss. However, in July 2023, the 13th episode of Pokémon Horizons rocketed to number 5 in the July 10th to July 16th period, and the 14th episode hit number 4 in the July 17th to July 23rd period. To be fair, it looks like the jump from 5 to 4 was due to the eternal reigning king of anime, Sazae-san, going on break that week, but it's a notable achievement for the Pokemon anime nevertheless. Curiously, episode 13 came out after a 3-week break. It was a picnic/recap episode that wasn't exactly a thriller, and episode 14 was solid but not necessarily a hype magnet. And yet these episodes crushed the TV rankings, even as the show's viewership on YouTube has continued to decline. So what the heck happened? Logically speaking, for the TV broadcast itself to rank higher than usual, it would obviously need to receive more views relative to the anime it competes against, meaning that either less people were watching the other anime and/or more people were tuning into the Pokemon anime. Personally, I think there was a sudden influx of Pokemon viewers for one simple reason: summer vacation. This year, the last day of school in the Kanto region's Chiba Prefecture was July 14th, the same day that episode 13 aired, and the last day practically everywhere else in Japan was July 21st, the day that episode 14 aired. And these are just the official final days of the school term. And of course, exams and other busy business such as after-school club activities tend to wind down before that, and many after-hours cram schools that kids attend in the evenings have closed down for the summer break as well. So it is not necessarily the case, but quite likely, that an influx of kids with a whole lot more free time on their hands are chilling out and glued to the TV over summer vacation. After all, last year even Pokemon Journeys made a few breakthroughs into the bottom rungs of the top 10 list over the summer holidays. However, perhaps even more interesting is that Pokemon Horizons is actually hitting significantly higher summer rankings than Pokemon Journeys, not to mention that it was also cracking the top 10 much more consistently than Pokemon Journeys in the months leading into summer. And for reference, the first 14 episodes of Pokemon Journeys made the top 10 just once, whereas the first 14 episodes of Pokemon Horizons cracked the list 6 times. So for whatever reason, Pokemon Horizons is hitting different with TV audiences. But what to make of the contradiction between the YouTube numbers and the TV viewership trends? There isn't really a clear answer at this point, but what I personally suspect is that Pokemon Horizons is losing viewership among older, core fans who are tech savvy and more likely to watch the episodes after they are uploaded to YouTube and find themselves longing for the days of Ash and Pikachu, feeling that something is missing in Pokemon Horizons, which could be making them feel increasingly disappointed as Pokemon Horizons does not deliver that exact type of show, and that Pokemon Horizons is at the same time building a comparatively relatively solid base among young children who tune into the show on the family television. This could be a good indicator that the new generation of Pokemon is taking root with a new generation of viewers. And I think that a few key adjustments could also win over longtime fans who aren't quite sold on the show just yet. But how about you? By the way, please subscribe to my new channel if you'd like to see what's happening in the world of anime from Japanese fan perspectives.